All right, so special treat on the podcast today. I am with the team of Lashtastic Lounge based in Kernersville, North Carolina. Why am I with these beautiful ladies? Well, because I want y'all to know what happens when you become a salon owner and you have really great hiring processes, onboarding processes, and you focus on leading and managing a team and building out a team culture. Why we're here and why I'm here is that they are on their first ever team retreat. The salon owner, Victoria, has been a longtime client of mine. She has been through our mastermind. She is one of our coaches inside of Society Accelerator and Momentum Mastermind. And this is the first retreat she wanted to have to really show her team she appreciates them and to get them to bond and connect and really feel valued as team members. So I pulled them aside while Victoria is getting ready to talk about what it's been like, their experience at Lashtastic Lounge, following the processes that we teach in our programs, because I think so much of there's some fears and hesitations around being an employee in the industry, and these ladies, we'll see, have a very different experience than places like your Amazing Lash Studio or where you have really toxic leadership and ownership. And I wanted to just show that there's evidence and proof that it doesn't have to be that way. So ladies, I'm going to have you just introduce yourself and how long you've been doing lashes. And yeah, let's start with that.
Okay. I'm Sloan. I've been lashing since last summer. Been with Lashtastic since last summer. And yeah.
So to clarify, you didn't do lashes before you got hired?
No.
All right, cool.
I'm Sydney, and I have been doing lashes for a little over a year. And I didn't do lashes before Lashtastic Lounge.
No
and
experience.
It's been amazing.
I'm Naomi, and I actually started doing lashes when I got hired back in February.
So about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So none of them had experience coming into it. All right, so let's talk about kind of your understanding of what's common for beauty salons, or what you hear your friends, or kind of what you get that you think might be a little bit different than what your experience has been in Lashtastic Lounge.
Say it again.
So on the car ride up yesterday, you guys were kind of talking about some other places that you had heard or other experience. I don't know if you guys had experiences working at other salons or spas, but kind of what do you think is the industry common practice, or even going out on your own? Why is it that you guys choose to be employees at a place like Lashtastic?
The community of Lashtastic Lounge. It's just very opening, and Victoria, the way that whenever I had my interview, I mean, she just blew me away. I just wasn't expecting what she had to offer. And I think it was more of her personality, and she was just very open and understanding, but she also had a business aspect to it. And I don't know, it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was like once I started working at Lashtastic, it was like I was immediately welcomed into a family.
Exactly.
Though I don't like to say family, we don't like to say family because, lots of families are dysfunctional, but, it was like being welcomed into their little family, and they just make you feel like you're a big part of their team, and, they're so excited that you're here, and that was what my experience was. So, but working for Victoria, I've never had, a leader as amazing as she is. So, I mean, I've learned so much from her with lashing. I never thought I could even do lashing. I never thought I wanted to do lashing. But the way that she's trained us, the way that she's made us feel that we can do this, it has changed my whole perspective of lashing in itself. Because I really thought it was just super intimidating all the time, just it's super tedious, of course, not everybody can do it, but it just, the way she trained us, I feel more confident in the industry itself, not just lashing, in the industry itself.
That's huge.
That is.
she's amazing.
She is.
I mean,
What she's taught
I'm a
us is
little biased,
amazing. And she's learned a lot from you, so you're amazing.
I mean, give me words of affirmation. I'll take it all day long. And you guys will hear Victoria's podcast episode where we talk about kind of her origin story and even the impact that being a part of our programs and working with me has impacted her family. Her husband's going to come on and talk about what he's witnessed as growth. So that's coming up too.
Yay.
Naomi, what was your interview experience like, and why did you choose Lashtastic?
Well, I found the job posting online, and something that really surprised me, that really stood out just from that, the job posting itself, is how much information she put out. A lot of places are like, yeah, hiring for between like 10 to 12 an hour, contact us or something like that, and that's it. But she had a whole thing put
I'm
out
so
about-
validated in that because that's the job description we share with people. It's really long.
Yeah.
It's super long. And the theory behind that is that as you read it, and maybe this was your guys' experience, as you read it, you get more excited about the job
Yep.
and you want to keep reading. And it's meant to weed out most people that are seeing the part-time hours, flexible schedule, that kind of stuff, where you're being competitive in the marketplace of employees. So thank you for sharing that, because I'm like, yes, validation. And somebody's like, this is really long. I'm like, by design. So what about that? What did you have that experience where as you read it, you're like, oh, wow, that's so me?
Yeah,
Or whatever you put
that exactly, because I'm the type of person that I like to be prepared to know what I'm getting into before I do anything, even just with small things. So knowing what I would be expected to do or be expected of, right when I get to even just like before I apply, and know what to expect of the job as well, was very reassuring. Is I kind of had like an idea of what it is I would get into, not just by the job description, but also the type of training, which I was very relieved by, because I didn't want to just go into the world of lashing, which I had never even before that, I had never even really thought about doing, and then just been thrown into yeah, you're just going to do this and this, and, just put some lashes on. I was scared to be with that, but no, it was very one-on-one training, and she had a whole booklet planned out.
She got a binder.
No,
Victoria, the queen of binders.
Her binders.
Which is very reassuring for me, because like I mentioned before, I like being very prepared for things, or at least feeling like I'm actually learning and not just being thrown into something. And I don't know, it was just really nice. And even at the job interview, she just gave off such a really good impression to me. She's very nice, and not even just in a way where, you could say a lot of people are like, oh yes, we're like a family, we care and everything, but their actions say something else, and it's not really like that. But no, she's genuinely very caring, and you can tell she actually cares about her team members. Not just by the way she talks and the way she runs her business, but also how she goes about interacting with her employees as well. Even small actions, and just asking if you need anything, always being up for communication and everything. Yeah, she's just really great.
Oh, we love you.
Look at you.
She's probably crying right now listening to this. Sydney, I know you had experiences in the past with past managers and leaders in your previous jobs that you kind of brought some of that people pleasing and feeling like maybe you weren't good enough, or you were maybe walking on eggshells. Can you share kind of what transitioned for you, or what happened where that kind of shifted and now you feel much more what we call psychologically safe in your role?
Trying to think. That's a big question.
All right.
Because there's definitely, I've worked since I was 14. So being at a young age, it's you don't know how to handle adults at the time. So I would say I don't know.
What were some of the toxic experiences you had with leaders? Because I think they're very common in the beauty industry. I don't know if that was the beauty industry or not, but there's so kind of share with me some of the things that felt really unfair to you as the employee, or you didn't feel seen or heard or valued as an employee.
Probably whenever I wanted to have family time, it was like a big issue for the boss that I had. It was like they didn't want me to have my free time. Like they just wanted me to be stuck in the industry. So that was definitely challenging for me, like trying to figure out how to make it to where like I could have family time,
like requesting time off
yes.
and having vacation days or
Not
something
being
like
an
that.
issue. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like I always felt bad for asking off, and I don't know, it's like I just got tired of people walking all over me. And it's like I had to learn like how to not to be rude, but to be like, I'm trying to think of that word.
Direct.
Assertive.
Yes, exactly. I would say that that's like the biggest thing that like I overcame as an adult.
So when you started at Lashtastic Lounge, it was probably, I think it was sometime in the fall, because I remember Victoria saying like, oh my gosh, I think Sydney's going to quit. I think she's really unhappy here. And I think you had the other thing of like, oh my God, I think I'm going to get fired. And you guys were like both so worried about that. Can you kind of share what that experience was like, and how, even just how Victoria handled it, how you guys came and had what seemed like a fairly tough conversation?
Yeah. I just came to her and I kind of just opened up. And the first thing I said, I was like, I'm not quitting. I just want to let you know that. And, but she basically was like, well, what can we do? Like, instead of like, no, this is not happening, she just like made it like, what can we do to overcome this? Yeah. And like, I don't know, it was just incredible, like how she like understood that like, yes, family time is important. And she was like, I know that you have a life other than working. And I don't know, the fact that like she even comprehended that, and like it just meant a lot to me. I've never had that feeling working at all. And so like it was just, I don't know, it felt really good. It's gonna make me cry.
Tears of joy. I love it. It's okay to be emotional about it. It's a big part of your life.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it can be very toxic. And my viewpoint of it, having worked with owners, is a lot of it comes from the owner's scarcity with money, right? Where they treat their team like revenue machines because they're so stressed out about money, and oftentimes they're still stuck in the treatment room, and so they can't really manage the business or lead the team, or they don't know how to hire people. So you get like the bad apples in there that walk all over the owner, right? And they gossip and talk smack and all these other things. And so it's hard to find quality people like you guys if you don't have a hiring process that weeds those people out. So can you talk about kind of the culture that you guys have, and how, from the outside perspective, it looks like it's getting better and better as you guys keep spending more time together? I mean, you've been here over a year. You're like 8-ish months. You're here about 2 months. And so kind of tell me, as you've kind of watched the team evolve, what has the culture been like? Good and bad. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Well, we don't really have a lot of bad, and I know that sounds, kind of cliche, but like, we don't really have a lot of bad because, well, we don't talk about each other.
Yeah.
We uplift each other. Like, if there's anything, somebody needs help with, hey, do you need help? We're helpful to each other. We're a team. And we've been taught to be a team by Victoria, our leader, who has shown us, like, you can't do anything without teamwork. Like, that's our culture. We're all about the team. Yeah. And there's no I in team. Nobody's more important than the other. Nobody is better than the other in Victoria's eyes. Like, we're all basically equal. And she's made our culture in our workplace so comfortable that we feel like we can go to her. Like, if we have a problem with a client, something happened with the lash extensions or, whatever. We can go to her and she's not going to belittle us and say, well, you did this wrong and you did. No, she's like, well, how can we make this better? How can we make it better for the next time? She's like, she tells us not to internalize things, which of course we still do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to.
Just wait till today. Just wait today. They've got a whole day of retreat with me, so they're good.
Yes. So she tells us not to internalize things, but then she's also there to encourage us, like, well, let's think of a solution. How can we make this better for the next client? And how can we fix it right now for this client? She's just, she feels like the backbone, the support
Mm-hmm.
that we need.
As a leader.
That everyone needs in this industry. Because it's hard to do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everyone's meant to be a business owner. I don't want to be a business owner. I'm just going to be honest with you. But Victoria, she was made for it. She's amazing. Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen her freak out and just completely come unglued?
I did.
Yeah.
I would say, whenever, what's the person that comes and like
State board
came and Toby was there. And Toby is her dog, if y'all didn't know. And we were all in the break room and Toby was just all over the state board lady. And Victoria like bent down to try to get Toby and she looked at me with those eyes like, get him
Help
right
me.
now. And she was like petrified because Toby would not leave her alone. It was so funny. I was like, that's hilarious. It was funny. I was like, but okay, come here, Toby. I'm like, I got you. But
Has she ever gotten mad at you guys?
No.
mm-mm.
No.
Side note, yes, she has. But not in a way, it's more of her own reflection. And this is what is beautiful about having coaching and other people that are other salon owners to have vents and times when it's more so she gets frustrated with processes that aren't working to get to the result and her development of a leader of like, how do I uplift this person? And what the best gift you can give your team as an owner is your own emotional regulation. To be able to have your outlet, and this is true for you, anybody really. The greatest gift you can give the people around you is learn how to be able to regulate your own emotions. That doesn't mean that we repress them. There's very difference of like just stuffing it down, but being able to get it out in a safe space so that you're not projecting it onto other people. Because I think we talked a little bit about this, especially with you yesterday, about you take on a lot of people's emotions, and especially with clients and like kind of being an empath. And if you're getting that from a leadership position, a lot of people have a lot of weird stuff around authority. Oftentimes like it's not a healthy dynamic. And so it can feel very threatening or polarizing when your person who's responsible for your paycheck is getting worked up emotionally, when they can come down from it very quickly, or like they outburst at you and then they feel better, but now all of a sudden that damage is left on you and you don't feel valued. And so that, to your guys' experience, you have trust with her because you know she's working on herself. You know she's always, and you can validate this as well, she's always working on her own development. And how can I be a better leader? And how can we she uses we do better, so that it's never just you have to do this or I'm not the problem. It's never blame. It's always let's focus on the solution rather than harp on the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys experienced that with her?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
One thing that I do love that she does is if like say that something happens with a client, she comes to you directly first before sharing it with the team.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to me because it's like I've had in my past like people come to me in front of everybody and it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like it makes you feel like almost like a shell. Like it's really embarrassing. And so like the fact that she cares, like, hey, like how can we fix this? And then like she asks you, can I share this with the team?
Yeah.
And like that just makes me like
trust her.
Yeah, it makes me trust her a lot.
To know she's not gonna go behind our backs and like
talk badly about us.
And talk badly. Yeah, like, did you hear what Sydney did? Or did you hear what we know she's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
She never has.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see just how team culture starts from the top down, because you guys are a reflection and a mirror of what Victoria is and how she operates. And if she started doing those things, that would give you guys permission to talk stuff about your clients and talk stuff about each other. And then it just breaks that trust and that connection like you were talking about.
Exactly.
All right, so let's kind of wrap this up. Let me think of one more question to ask each of you. Let's start with Sloan. best thing, if you had to narrow it down to one thing, best thing about working at Lashtastic.
The best thing about working at Lashtastic, well, first and foremost, we have the most amazing clients. Like, they're absolutely the best. But the best thing about working at Lashtastic is the team that we've built. Like, we can all, just like we said earlier, we can rely on each other. We could trust each other, you know, because not many can do that in this industry. You know, there's a lot of cattiness. There's a lot of, you know, pettiness and stuff going on, but we can trust each other. That's the best thing. I've never had that in a workplace, like fully trust. Like, I feel like these are my friends, not just my coworkers. They're my friends, you know? Like, I don't know. I just feel very comfortable where I'm at. It's the best thing. You have to be comfortable at work, and you have to love what you do. And I actually do love what I do because of this team. Mm-hmm.
All right, Sydney, same question.
Oh, you took mine.
I'm sorry.
It can be the same.
Build off of it, girl.
I was gonna say the team for sure. You guys just make me feel passionate about what I do. It makes me be a harder worker, and like I'm still learning like different things here and there. It's like I don't stop learning, and like what Sloan said, like it's not only my coworkers, it's my friends, my family. Every single one of y'all mean the world to me.
No.
And I don't think that we would have this great team if it wasn't for Victoria being such an amazing leader.
And the baby she built for all of us, which
Yes.
is Lashtastic.
All right, Naomi.
I'm also going to say the team. And also just the amount of trust we have in each other and how well we can rely on each other for anything. And, you know, just helping each other when we need it, being able to rely on each other, and just being able to value ourselves and each other on, you know, just the small things. And also if we ever need help with a client, and if one of us is running a little bit behind, we can trust that one of our team members will help, even if it's just asking the client if they use the restroom, if they need something else, helping with paperwork. It's always just amazing knowing that you can rely on each other for anything. You know, especially for me, since it's only been like 2 months, but I already feel like I can trust them with anything.
Oh, I love that. Oh, Victoria's full on sobbing now. Well, if you guys want to learn how to build a team that creates this type of culture by hiring processes, onboarding processes, management, leadership, marketing, disciplinary processes, this is all what we teach inside of our programs. We have Society Accelerator if you haven't hired a team member before or you're not profitable, and our Mastermind, which is where we really dive into this management leadership type of training so that you can become a leader like Victoria that creates amazing team members and a team culture like we have here at Lashtastic. Thank you, ladies, so much. You
Thank
did it.
you.
You all
We
had your
sure
first
did.
podcast.
Yay!
All right, catch you guys next time.